stars. Got the whole damn verse spinning around you with open arms. It's a race against time that plunges you deep into the black. What are you gonna do when the void stares back? You'll never stop the revolution. Time to begin your evolution. Take a leap of faith. You gotta break the illusion. You gotta make your own solution. Take a leap of faith. The future's just a void, jump away.
Greetings, humanity. Welcome once more to Channel Otherdoc. I'm Jim. I use he, him pronouns. This is our Dark Matter campaign, Ghosts of Saltmaw. I just want to start out by thanking profusely the anonymous gifter who just gifted 5 subs while we were in intros. Thank you so much. That's freaking awesome. But now, as the way this thing goes, this is a game, and in this game, I will be playing Cole Hayden, Human Gunslinger. And let us now go around and say hi to everyone, see who they are and who they are playing, starting with Anino. Hello.
How's it going, everyone? My name is Anino. I use he, him pronouns, as does my character, the ever-present Rekmara, who is an Aviara druid.
Yes. Ever-present and omniscient is everywhere. Or it will be soon, the way things are going. So let us move on to Cazimi. Hello.
Hi, I'm Cazimi. I use she, her pronouns, and today I'm playing Clangsville Nunu Fritz Holdsbottom Thunderstruck, this space gnome who uses they, them pronouns around everyone except for the Aviara druid, who they ignore.
Oh, no.
All right, then.
Getting more and more dangerous to ignore the Aviara druid. But now let us head over to May. Hello.
Hi everyone, my name is May. I play Lasness Chain Tower, the Star Dwarf Paladin, who has been blessed with Nomad, who I'm starting to personally wonder if Nomad's wondering if he's been cursed with her. We both use she, her pronouns.
I feel as though Nomad's going to be getting plenty of use shortly. But now let us head over to Mem. Hello.
Hello, I'm Mem. This is Ellie. And today I will be the wonderful Noddled Witch, Narita Galeen. We both use she, her pronouns. And much like Ellie here, just want for Rekmara to love us.
The Rekmara Show, starring everybody focusing on Rekmara.
Is that asking so?
It is, actually.
It is, isn't it? Yeah. It's like the opposite of what Rekmara wants.
Asking for far too much, actually.
It is, really. So, yeah, I've just noticed as I'm sitting, before I throw things over to our illustrious station master, I just wanted to comment for no reason that I've noticed that apparently I have different items that I fidget with depending on what game I'm playing, and I've only just noticed that just now because I was putting away this deck of cards, and then I'm sitting here and I'm looking at this table, and I've got this thing, and then I have, for this game, I have this dice tower, and I'm just sort of slowly coming to realize, perhaps there's something to this whole associative object comfort thing that I've been hearing about. But I digress. Anyway, that little interesting piece of psychological trivia I just realized about myself out of the way. Let us toss things over to our station master, Alyssa. Hello.
Hello. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. My name is Alyssa. My pronouns are she, her, and I play everyone else. So with most games on this channel, we'll be using safety tools such as the X card, the N card, and the O card. So if at any point during the game we stumble into territory that's crossing a line for anybody and we don't want to deal with it, that's where you type the X in the Zoom chat, make an X symbol, we stop, rewind, add a dash of retcon, and it never happened. If you're kind of towing that line, and it's okay to have the subject in the game, but you don't want a graphic description, that's where the N comes into play. We will just pan to the fake fireplace, fade to black, and go from there. And if you're getting really into the role play, giving an Oscar-worthy performance, and you want to let everybody know that it's okay to keep pouring on the drama, go ahead and type an O into the chat. And if you need to check in with other people, in case you've gone too far, use an O with a question mark, and we'll all respond as needed and go from there. Previously on Ghosts of Saltmaw, having defeated the Void Prince Sergal and made sure the Witchbolt Island Hermitage was reasonably secure, the party returned to Saltmaw Station to rest and regroup. In the interest of brevity, Fritz went to speak with Dr. Wu to finalize plans for their return to Chiron, while Cole and Lasness checked in with 5-0 to inquire about collecting any outstanding bounties on the Void Prince's head, and Ragmara accompanied Narita to rendezvous with Captain Azaline aboard the Nautilid world ship, the Manan. The Nautilid captain agreed to provide air support for the upcoming mission, while Narita visited the Small Fry, and Ragmara returned to Unum to puzzle over his newly acquired artifact called Ayun's Codex. After spending an entire long rest working on it, he had discovered that it could create a slipgate, which granted him the ability to teleport anywhere in the known universe on any plane of existence, provided that he was familiar with the location or its specific coordinates. However, he was not satisfied with merely unlocking one of the Codex's mysteries, and spent the rest of the party's time on Saltmaw obsessing over the strange device. So, if you have the list of magical properties for the device, or if you would like me to go over them, you can pick one more.
One more.
Yes, because it takes 10 hours to unlock each layer of the puzzle. So we'll say that you've probably had enough time to unlock at least one more. In the meantime, what is everybody else up to?
There is a piece of research that my daylight savings addled brain did not come up with until like the very end last time, that I realized is probably going to be kind of helpful, because as I recall, there was a being there that the last time we were on Chiron that was being worshipped, that somebody I was able to identify as being an aboleth, and I figure it would be nice to perhaps get at least a little bit of research in to find out a little bit more about what these things are and how to deal with them, because there's a bit of a suspicion that they might be involved in what's going on.
Okay. So, is there anything particular you're trying to find out about Aboleth?
Well, I mean, where does one start with things like this?
Well, let's see. We could go ahead and have a history or investigation check and find out how much you're able to learn about them.
Yeah, I think that'd be cool. It's mostly there's he's sort of going to be digging through various whatever information sources he can get about various fauna of Chiron would be great, but if anything else that comes around that even if it's not native to Chiron, that's just
Sure.
strange
Well,
beast information, asking around, etc.
Between your connections with the Maw Keepers and their databases and Fritz's newly acquired Encyclopedia Multiplanaria, which Unum and Fritz have been working on indexing, you should be able to at least find something.
Okay, yeah, I will definitely be looping Fritz in on this particular investigation, because we're all by the time we get to Chiron, we're all going to be looped into it involuntarily. So it's best that it's best we perhaps know ahead of time. I'm going
On
to
a
roll
side
this.
note,
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, Fritz is kind of getting into the whole randomness factor of the I can't even remember the name of this index multiplanarium.
The Encyclopedia Multiplanaria.
Right. It's
Yes.
like the randomness component of that is starting to Fritz is starting to warm to that idea, and so if Cole starts asking Fritz very pointed questions about does it have this piece of information, Fritz won't answer that directly, but if it comes out to is it possible that strawberries are an effective form of poisoning aboleth, or just something random like that, and getting an answer, it's probably likely I get a quick answer no. So quick random answers, probably I will get an answer for you. In deeply detailed answers of a very particular nature, probably not. But Fritz is kind of starting to take on that whole I'll give you a random answer, kind of in the general ballpark of what you're looking for.
Okay.
That sounds like just up Narita's alley. Just like, hey, do aboleth like rosemary?
Do they
Roll a
have
D20.
mushroom allergies? I shall now roll an icosahedron.
Me too.
Exactly.
Okay, I got
19.
Oh crap!
19.
I got a 15, so you're doing better.
It is decidedly so. I have a D20 list of Magic 8-Ball answers.
There you go.
Perfect. Thank you. Make sure to take some rosemary when we go. Got it.
Okay. But it likes it, so this might be an issue.
We got to make a patch of it to trap them.
I have a great
yeah.
recipe for rosemary flatbread.
We'll let you do that.
Thank you.
I got a 15 on
100%.
my investigation roll. If that helps.
15 on your investigation roll. Okay, that's pretty good. So aboleth are fish-like amphibians of immense size, often reaching 20 feet in length and weighing up to 6,500 pounds, though they continue to grow as they age, as long as they have a large enough environment and suitable resources. So in the dark matter universe, some of them continue to grow and escape the confines of their planets and continue to grow in the depths of space. And because they basically live forever and glean knowledge from any intelligent life that they encounter, they just keep growing and learning and gathering knowledge and secrets until they basically can, in some cases, attain a kind of godhood.
How big was the one we were in the room with? About approximately.
Not god-sized yet.
Okay.
It had not yet figured out how to escape.
Yeah. I mean, they were
The
worshiping
planet.
it as a god, so maybe it didn't need
They
to.
were. It had tricked them into seeing it as their two-headed shark god. But perhaps it was attempting to reach escape velocity, so to speak.
Yeah, maybe that was part of its process, which is weird. Okay, so does the entry or whatever it is that we're looking up, does that tell us like that these things are presumably these are intelligent?
Yes.
What is the and so how I'm kind of curious how this one pulled off. I'm approaching this as though Cole doesn't know a lot about aboleths already, because Jim doesn't know a lot about aboleths already. Strangely enough, this is one of those patches of lore that he's managed to miss over the years. But the thing that he's probably trying to figure out is how it pulled that off, how it convinced them that it was a two-headed shark god, when it clearly does not look anything like a two-headed shark god.
It does not.
So
They are psionic creatures.
So it was able to influence their minds.
Yes. Much like many of the things you have encountered on Chiron.
This is true. I'm wondering if perhaps we shall need a greater line of defense against such attacks. And I'm wondering if anyone knows of, if any of us knows of a way of doing that. So I'm going to just sort of do this thing where I send a text to everybody. It's sort of like, do we have anything that can shutter out mental attacks from psionic beings? Because we're probably going to run into at least one.
So Fritz punches back into the group chat that Cole punched into that we've had going for a while. It's like, we picked up a bunch of stuff the first time we went to Chiron when we thought about brainworms, and we're looking at some potential potions and things like that, and thought that we had our act together. I'm assuming not much more has changed about our understanding of what's down there and what we need than the last time we thought we were going into danger and we just nuked things from orbit. We're better at that now.
That's true. What things do I mean? We had life suits because that was with the brainworms, and they couldn't get into.
Well, because of underwater mostly.
Yeah. I'm just wondering if we have anything that specifically defends against mental. I'm looking through my inventory right now, and I don't see anything that specifically is like against mental attacks.
Well, as long as you're within 10 feet of me and you got to make a saving throw, that creature gains a bonus to the saving throw equal to their charisma, as long as I'm conscious. So I don't know how much that might parlay into against a psionic attack, but I'll leave that to us to dicker over.
I have a roll of vent tape, so I just need to pick up a bunch of aluminum foil now, and then I think we'll be... I think my next... Actually, the next avenue, since we happen to have someone to hand who might be able to... who might know some... who might have an insight on this, we have Dr. Wu's accompanying us, right?
Mm-hmm.
You go and ask Dr. Wu if can you remind me Dr. Wu's pronouns? I'm sorry.
She, her.
She, her. I'm gonna go and ask her if she knows anything about things that can keep out psionic attacks, which will sort of explain. Okay, so there's probably an aboleth on this planet, so at least one, and we're trying to figure out ways to block out psychic attacks, and if there's like a if there are any insights on that.
There are various enchanted objects that can be imbued with mind shielding properties. Whether or not you would be able to track one down and acquire it on short notice is another question.
Well, but if you know what those properties are, I could probably research fairly quickly and create, say, a headband of shielding that replicates with technology what your so-called magic would otherwise be doing.
I mean, that sounds good.
I mean, I might only have time to make one of those, but
I mean, one's better than none.
yeah.
We go. Let me go ahead and. But since that's happening, I will go. Since that was the thing, and I'm presuming that this is not something you can pick up at the corner store. I will.
I mean, you might.
No, but there are a number of practitioners on the station whom you could perhaps inquire about things of that nature.
That's fair.
It just depends how much of a hurry you're in.
Yeah. Do we want to take a little time to do this before we head off, or do we need to just kind of go?
I don't think Chiron's going anywhere, so.
Yeah, we can take some time.
That said, it might be useful to locate one item and then see if I can replicate it.
That's fair. Yeah, that'd be cool. Good idea. I didn't know if we had a thing where it's like, oh no, we have to meet the Nautilus ship at 1500 hours. That's the.
You can always push it off, right?
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
We can go on Nautilus time.
That's fair. I'm sorry, I got the time change wrong. I didn't go.
we forgot to take into account the tides, space tides.
Yes, that's right. We forgot the space tides. The station clock got set back an hour the other day, and we didn't quite get that in time. So anyway, yeah, definitely. So I'm gonna look through the whatever station Rolodex there might be to see if there's other practitioners we might want to inquire with. And I'm actually, as we're speaking, I'm going through our own OOC station Rolodex to see if there's anyone on there. Not sure. Although,
well,
sorry,
let's see. Ted has acquired magical items from someone on the station before.
Acquired or borrowed?
Should we really get into the semantics?
I mean, you know, we don't necessarily have to connect. We don't have to bring Ted with us when we.
We just ask him about where it came from and then go there ourselves because he may or may not be wanted for theft.
Yeah, there's that. Gotta be careful about that. And that being the case, if worse comes to worse, there is someone who is probably becoming a slightly more powerful merchant now, once again, who might owe us a favor as well, if it comes down to it. So, But yeah, if we can find a practitioner first, that'd be good. Yeah, so we can check with Ted. Those of us who can communicate with him. Can we all communicate with him now? I forget. There's like something happened.
Yes, you can all communicate with Ted. He has been patched into the comms with
okay.
a universal translator. For those of you who don't already have that ability.
I think Cole waits for a moment to see if anyone else is going to do it before he he does it himself.
Also, Cole, your gun can talk to constructs.
That's true. I didn't even think about that. Wait a minute. No, I really need to. I really need to be including. Wait, my gun's on the comms too, isn't she?
Yes, Vantha is on the comms as well.
I forgot about that. She patched into the comms also. Oh, God. Oh my God. So I'm gonna. So before I talk to before I try to say anything to Ted, and briefly pausing, hoping someone else talks to Ted first, because Cole is not quite sure still with everything that keeps changing around him, but he's going to go ahead and that said, he's going to hypocritically now talk to his own talking object, and we just sort of for briefly. Event, have you've been hearing all this? Where we've been sort of batting around about looking for devices, things that can possibly block out psychic influence.
Yes.
Do you know anything that might be helpful here as far as getting something like that or putting something like that together? I know you've been out of circulation for a while, but but I know that it's kind of was. Arcane devices. I think were your wheelhouse at one time. Yeah.
Well, my father's wheelhouse, not necessarily mine. I didn't really see much of him. He was always busy with his work.
Not
until,
well, yeah. So but otherwise not one to be interested in the family business. Then I take it.
No, I wasn't really included much on that side of things until now.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. Thanks. So yeah, if has anyone else contacted Ted, or is Cole going to do it?
Narita can ask Ted about his contacts.
Okay. Ted says Ted says, remember, I got the antivirus from the lady with the eye.
Should I remember the lady with the eye?
Who needs Iris?
Refresh my memory about who Iris is.
Iris is a mystic and astrogator for another adventuring company.
Okay. So got that from her. So maybe we can talk to this Iris lady that Narita doesn't recall. Narita doesn't.
So if you mention Iris, did you mention Iris to us?
Yeah. So she'll go over the comms and say, so we'll need to speak with Iris over
Lasness probably knows her a little better than anybody else.
Oh, wait, is she, so Lasness met her at the guild or whatever
Yes.
and talked a bunch.
Yeah.
That's okay. That's right. Okay,
Yep.
I remember.
They had a
Look,
nice conversation.
She
yeah.
was so nice.
Mem remembered. Narita didn't. So actually, maybe we should send Lasness then, since you're the one with the connection to our good friend Iris.
Sure, I'm sure she would love to have another visit.
A beautiful conversation. And then also an adult needs to go with you. Yes.
You know, I do have a map now. I don't need to always follow the tallest person around so I don't get lost. That only happens every time.
Whose turn is it to be an adult today? I forget.
Narita will try. She also requires adult supervision at times too, so this
That's
is
fair, yeah.
questionable.
I mean, we pretty much all require adult supervision sometimes.
The DA, the designated adult. I can go now.
All right.
I text Iris. Hey,
Okay.
who has at least... She definitely has 2 appendages, right? On the top portion of her body?
Iris?
Yes. She's
Yes. Yes.
Okay. All right. Hey,
Well,
who has
she appears
2 thumbs?
human most of the time.
Just trying to be fair. But hey, who has 2 thumbs and is having a visit from me and a friend? That's right, you. See you in 20.
She texts back, okay.
With that exact tone.
What other tone does 2 letters have?
Well, it depends. Is there a period after the okay? Because then it's serious.
I imagine that in this universe, when you text messages, it actually knows your mood and it will shade the text to show that.
That's such a great idea.
It's like
Okay.
this weird, like gray brown color.
When she's around Lasness and Oceanus, Iris talks with exclamation points. So it probably has an exclamation point, and it makes people suspicious.
It does.
Not
More than-
Oceanus, but people around Oceanus. So you find Iris 20 minutes later.
I'd like to meet her at our favorite bar because at the very least, she's allowing us to visit and I will get her a drink.
Okay. What is your favorite bar, Lasness?
Oh, I meant Iris, but yeah, this one's called Tesseract.
Okay.
And I asked for 2 singularity stingers. And ask Mem what's her favorite drink.
She's a big fan of bourbon.
And Spurbin, neat, straight up.
All right.
Lasness sets sets the tray of the drinks down, and she requested hers in a stein because, you know, it helps her remind her of home and her heritage. And she only does it once in a while. And brainworms are kind of terrifying, so she needs a little comfort.
Fair enough.
How have you been, Iris?
Oh, pretty good. You know, just shuttling people around, looking for space mermaids.
That's amazing. Guess who killed Spurgle? Nurgle. I don't know, but I bet somebody would love to because he's already dead. This is why you need to not let her drink.
Narita just like takes the glass.
Stein.
So
Last time.
You've been pre-gaming, Lasnes.
Do you remember the brainworms?
Yeah.
We need some help.
Uh-huh.
We need to figure out a way to take care of brainworms. Because we're going back to it because I'm not sure why, but it's important that we go back.
Okay. They're just
and also
worms,
this
right?
is Narita.
I'm kidding. I know they're not just worms because they can form gestalt consciousnesses and that sort of thing. And that's pretty scary. So I take it you're looking for some sort of mental shielding abilities.
Those words.
Okay. So I don't have a lot on me right now, but I do have a ring of mind shielding. Just the one.
Wow, that's really cool. Where'd you get it?
I made it.
You can make them?
Yes, actually. It takes a lot of time and it's kind of expensive. But once you have the components and if you know the spell, which I know a few, it's not that hard.
Wow.
It's how I made the antivirus gum. You've probably seen it sold in the shops.
I have, and it's been really helpful for us in Unum and Ted.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Narita.
Yes.
We should probably figure out the components that Iris might need because we have a job for you. How much time does it take to make those rings?
A while.
That sounds more than like a bit.
Several days, depending on how high level an enchantment you want to put on it.
Very high.
Well, for something like mind shielding, that's going to be a 3rd level spell. So if you were to buy something like this from a magic item vendor, it might run you up to 20,000 credits.
How much is that friend discount worth?
Well, I will tell you what. Since we did kind of make a deal that if you find out anything about the water on Chiron and or certain other things that were discussed at our last meeting, I will lend you the ring. No charge.
This is why I like you, Iris.
Narita looks over at Lasnes. What other things were discussed? And what are you talking about the water on Chiron?
And then Lasnes leans over and is like all sort of voce.
I'm trying to help you find out more information. You can't help me if you spill the beans. There are too many secrets. I can't keep them all in my mind. I see
I don't
that.
think she's actually kept any.
Yes.
Point.
That's what I was thinking. I didn't want to say anything mean.
You know,
True.
takes a puff on her vape. And because it is actual vapor that comes out, Narita, you probably recognize the properties of this vapor. It is a very, very small amount of Poseidon solution.
Oh. Why is that?
Make a perception check.
Oh, okay, then here we go. Could I use my investigation? I think it's better than my perception.
Sure.
Or insight, something that's not that. Oh, I didn't even need it. That's the 19 again. Wow. I can't wait for this to fail me and give me a 1 at the wrong time.
Okay. Is that a 19 total or a 19 on the die?
19 on the die.
Okay. Well, are you adding any bonus to it?
Nah, I don't need it.
Okay. All right.
Wow.
Do I need it? With the bonus, it'll be 24.
Well, it's pretty unusual for humans to have anything to do with Poseidon solution, and she looks pretty much human. But as she catches your eye and notices you studying her, she kind of just drops one eyelid in a wink.
That completely flies right over Lasness's head.
Rita's just staring at her. Is she tall?
Kind of.
Like, I don't know, Nautilid tall or just human tall?
Currently she's human tall.
Okay. So she's Nautilid small.
One head, 2 arms, 2 legs, 2 eyes, 2 ears, nose, mouth.
Narita has questions, but won't ask them here. But she just looks at her.
Her skin is kind of a golden brown color, and you're not sure if she just has a little bit of glittery highlight on the contouring,
Or scales.
but she sparkles a little.
What's your interest in the water on Chiron, Iris?
Just looking out for my family.
Who's your family?
What? Was Narita not there for that conversation that we had with her?
No, she wasn't.
Okay.
She was chasing Ted. That was right after she got cured of the My5 virus, so...
Okay. That's good to know. I
Yeah.
wish I'd heard Okay.
Okay, wait. So there's a whole story that I don't remember. Great, perfect,
There is.
love it.
Yeah.
All right.
She kind of gestures. This is magic.
Oh. I see. Well, then we have similar goals, and we will happily accept your offer of borrowing the ring.
Try not to die. Let me know what you find out.
That is always the goal.
Hey, Iris, you don't need to use magic around me. I'm a very honest person, and I can keep secrets, so you don't have to worry about it with me.
I know. It's just easier to breathe in this shape.
I get that.
without.
Also, your secrets are not safe, so absolutely don't tell Lasmus anything. Have a great day. Come on, Lasmus.
I should take money out for the drink. Just to be fair.
Okay. It'll probably only set you back a few credits.
That's what I figured. Okay. Perfect. Thanks. I left a nice tip. If tipping is allowed in this universe,
Sure.
in this reality.
If you have seen what people get paid in the Dark Matter book, I'm pretty sure tipping is still a thing. So, you have yourself a ring of mind shielding.
It only affects one person, right?
Yeah, one person can wear it. You have to attune to it. Theoretically, Fritz could probably retro engineer something like that.
Could we forge something to increase it?
Not really.
Okay. And plus a satellite dish on it would be kind of obvious, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Imagine someone going around with a satellite dish on their
I was thinking more along the lines of a series of wires and then tinfoil hats, but that's okay.
I mean, that'd be great.
So,
We can be a little more than that. They can have antennae.
whoever decides to attune to the ring while wearing it, you are immune to magic that allows other creatures to read your thoughts, determine whether you're lying, know your alignment, or know your creature type. Creatures can telepathically communicate with you only if you allow it, and you can use an action to cause the ring to become invisible until you use another action to make it visible, until you remove the ring, or until you die. If you die while wearing the ring, your soul enters it, unless it already houses a soul, and you can remain in the ring or depart to the afterlife. As long as your soul is in the ring, you can telepathically communicate with any creature wearing it. A wearer can't prevent this particular telepathic communication.
Holy crap.
How to become an enchanted item in one easy step.
I know, right? So whoever
Step
ends
one.
up
Wearing it. Step 2, die wearing it.
whoever ends up wearing it gets to find out if there's a passenger already.
Oh.
Some of you are used to this sort of thing already.
It's entirely true.
I'm not going to put it on just yet because I want to see what our resources are, and then I'd like to make sure that we give them to the people who would be the most beneficial wearing it, not who deserves it the most.
Who deserves it the most?
Well, I think that's
Who's
going to
got
vary from
the,
person to person.
Who's got the lowest wisdom score?
Oh,
I'm a
probably
10.
Hilda.
I'm assuming
Oh.
it's me.
Oh boy, yeah. Never mind.
Because that is who is going to have the hardest trouble resisting.
I think story-wise, I think we pretty much established who has the lowest amount of wisdom.
We already know that Lasmus is going to confront the danger immediately. So she's probably going to need that extra protection.
And to be fair,
she's-
I mean,
she's
I really
played it
don't.
Straight up.
I really don't want an orbital cannon turned against us. So
You know what?
Probably.
Fair game. All right, Lasness, you deserved it the most.
Everybody's jamming it on their finger. Do not take this off.
I mean, I think we should let Fritz take a look at it first, but yes.
True.
Yeah, no, it belongs on her finger.
Look, Glasness, Iris is your BFF.
It makes sense that you be the one responsible for the ring.
Yeah.
Oh, responsibility. My 2nd favorite job. Yeah. What is the proper name of the item again, really quick? My apologies.
Ring of Mind Shielding.
Thank you so much.
If you type Ring of Mind Shielding 5e into Google, that should bring up a listing for the item if you forget what it does.
Yes. Thank you very much. We're gonna take care of this. Perfect. And thank you for the very pretty ring. Iris is a very pretty person even behind her mask. She sends that as a text to Iris. Because she's also very subtle.
So, now that you have your ring, are there any other last-minute preparations you would like to do, or shall we send you back to the future? No.
There is something I did want to ask. I'm not exactly sure if it would even matter, but would Nomad have knowledge of this, depending on what Nomad has done in the past?
Of
Maybe locations or...
Of Chiron or Aboleths or...
More about maybe just being aware of any sort of natural phenomena that could help us in repelling any psionic attacks.
Well, Nomad does have some memory of the brain wars, but they were popping in and out between various interdimensional crises that were happening around that time. So as far as like natural phenomenons that can protect you from psychic attack, they don't have anything specific.
I thought it might be kind of a long shot, but I wasn't sure what Nomad has experienced in their life, in their existence on this realm.
A lot. And a lot on other realms. So, also, you notice that their thoughts are still kind of strange and alien, despite or perhaps because of all of their varied experience. So, a lot of like, it sounds like, you know how sometimes when like the doctor starts talking about a thing and ends up talking about this other thing, it's a little bit like that. Lots of stories that you have no context for, a little bit like you're not entirely sure Nomad really understands how humanoids work.
That's kind of what I figured, that the majority of Nomad's experience, or even possibly ability to bring it down to Lasness's level, is a little like 5-dimensional chess while I'm over here playing checkers in a travel version in a car. Thanks anyway, Nomad. I really want to hear about this Crisis of Infinite Earths at some point.
Don't get them started. So, I think now would probably be a good time to take a quick break, and we'll jump to Chiron when we come back.
We can totally do that. We can totally do that. You said we can go straight when we get back to the terrifying planet. Excellent.
Strip the Band-Aid off.
We're all going to
It's
die.
time.
Okay, excellent. Well, no, this is great. This is great. All right, folks. We will. I have just slotted in one of our interviews, so we'll go to that, and then we shall return and hope things go well. We will see you in a few minutes. Welcome to the break. I have Lindy here to talk to us a bit. Hello.
Hello.
Thank you so much for coming and having a little chat with us.
Thanks for having me.
I just wanted to sort of dig in and find out. You do quite a bit of RPG streaming and what have you nowadays,
Yes.
and I just wanted to find out what started the whole thing. How did you get into tabletop gamery?
So as of now, I'm an addict, but it started, one of my coworkers said, hey, do you want to play a D&D game? And I said, yes, I have wanted to for probably a decade now, but the timing has never worked out. And so we had the same shifts, so we had the same days off, so we were able to make a group. I was hooked instantly, and then when I moved to a different state, I didn't have my group anymore, so I went on to Roll20, joined the first random group I saw, and I'm still playing with them 4 years later. And then at some point I was Twitch streaming video games. It's like, might as well just put the D&D show on there as well, since we're playing anyways. All I'll do is just throw it on OBS. And that's basically what got me started, is me going, might as well try this.
Nice. So what did you start out playing initially? What kind of character?
I started, my first ever character was a half-elf bard named Alora, and it was a very typical bard, but her instrument was the bagpipes, because she was adopted by a dwarven clan. And I loved her. She's very near and dear to my heart.
I think one of the happiest things for me that has come about from the whole being able to play musical instruments in these games thing has been the addition of the bagpipes to the list of available instruments.
Yes, I can't play any musical instruments in real life, so I was like, I'm going to play the bagpipes, the best instrument, as a bard. Also, my DM wouldn't let me have a hurdy-gurdy, so he's like, no, you're not doing a hurdy-gurdy. So I was like, bagpipes? And he's like, fine.
Just the sheer idea. I'm trying to think how that even just as a bard, I guess when you're playing bagpipes, is there
Not very stealthy.
It's like because I'm to a certain extent, I seem to recall that when they were used, sort of initially, it was kind of to put fear into the enemy, so I'm just trying to figure out how that
lots
goes
of bagpipes, and she used limericks to dish out her bardic inspiration. So there was much fear had by all.
That's just too good. That's just way too good. But you, I will briefly diverge to mention that I've had like a couple of characters now who ended up with bagpipes, and it was I think there is one that was that I never played. I played as in sort of an off-stream game where he wasn't even a bard. He just happened to, I took a background where he had the ability to play a musical instrument. He was a monk, and so I just based him off that. Have you seen that heavy metal bagpiper? on
Yes.
YouTube. Yeah, I based him off that guy pretty much.
Nice.
He just basically went around being as annoying as possible to people and then beating them up. That was essentially
Yeah, it works. It's very effective.
But so you got into streaming. It sounds like it was more sort of a natural progression from the fact that you'd already been doing video game streaming and you'd already been doing stuff over Roll20. So what were the first sort of streams you remember doing that were RPG-ish?
We were halfway through the very first campaign I was ever GMing. We were halfway through Curse of Strahd, and I said, no one's gonna watch anyway. Just left questions. I'll do my best to answer them. But people watched it. I was like, this is weird. Why are people watching this? We've got our gunslinger out here seducing every hag in Barovia, and why are people here? But we had a blast. My goal was just to have fun with my friends, and if people hung out and watched and had fun too, that was just a bonus. So that was kind of just how the first campaign happened. And then after that, I was like, okay, maybe I should make an overlay for this. And the second campaign was Out of the Abyss.
Nice. Now I'm actually not as familiar with what's in Out of the Abyss. Curse of Strahd I actually played a little bit of once. But is that what's Out of the Abyss about? If you want to talk about it.
Underdark. You're basically kidnapped and dragged down to the Underdark, and the Abyss kind of ruptures and opens up a bit and starts pouring out into the Underdark, and you're like, oh no, demons! And you have to figure out a way to get the characters invested enough to go back into the Underdark after they escape to slay the demons. In my opinion, not the best module, but I had it. I'd gotten it for Christmas, and so damn it, I was going to run it. And we had fun, but we definitely enjoyed Curse of Strahd more, I think.
What approach do you usually take when you start adapting modules for use in your campaigns? Do you just do them point for point, or do you do more of the Cuisinart method? What do you do?
So I read through the whole book first. That's at least what I like to do. And then I go, okay, what is my group just not going to buy into? Because I've been playing with the same group for 4 years now. So I'm pretty familiar with what they're going to hate and what they're going to love. So I'll go through and I'll take out anything I know they're just not going to be interested or not going to like. And I'll tweak things a little bit and be like, oh, I think they'd think an aboleth in this lake would be really cool. And just I keep the main overarching stuff, and I keep a lot of the same things, but I really only read through it once and then skim just before session. So it's very improv heavy, even though we are following the main plot and quest line of the book. There's going to be a lot of stuff in NPCs that may not be in the book or have changed severely from the book. We just have fun, so that's what's important.
Awesome, excellent. I think we're gonna talk more about the various different shows that you've participated in a little bit in a separate one of these interviews. But in the meantime, if folks want to find your stuff online, where should they go?
Okay, so they can follow me online at Laugh Love Lindy on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, etc. Mostly Twitter and Twitch. I'm behind on YouTube, and I have a feeling I will perpetually be behind on YouTube. But all the past stuff's on there for the most part, so check that out.
Being behind on YouTube is a definite mood. I can definitely identify with that, as are, I'm sure, plenty of the folks who watch this channel. But awesome. Well, folks, thank you very much for watching, and we will catch you next time. Farewell. Hello. We have returned. We have finished, or at least I have finished cowering during the break, so that we can now turn and face the horrors in front of us, so that we can see what's coming. So here we go.
So, you jump to Kyra. Lesness can flash her Knights of the Sepulchre badge and bypass some of the bureaucratic red tape that the Maw Keeper Resh likes to pull out on people to try and discourage them from visiting Chiron for obvious reasons.
Now, are the other ships meeting us there, or do we need to like?
Yes.
Okay. I mean, obviously, yes. I figure those details are taken care of, but for some reason, my brain says, no, we have to make sure we have to cross all the T's and dot all the I's.
We have checked and double checked and synchronized everyone's watches, and everyone leaves at approximately the same time as you do and arrives at approximately the same time as you do.
Yay.
How would you like to approach the planet?
With loop-de-loops.
You know what? We might die. I'm down for the loop-de-loops.
I was going to say cautiously and with a sense of dread, but I mean, loop-de-loops are good too.
Okay. Do the loop-de-loops increase your sense of dread, Mr. Hayden?
I feel as though we all know the answer to that question.
Yes. Yes, I suppose we do.
But since we're actually close enough that in space at this point, that I think that it would be received in a timely fashion, and I'm sort of after I've sort of strapped in multiple ways, I just sort of will briefly text Lee and say, "My God, she's doing loop-de-loops."
So she is.
I just want to say that Reknara isn't actually strapped into his chair, but the codex allows him to change the gravity in his area. So he's actually sitting in place, and then the whole ship is just twirling around him.
Like a gyroscope.
Like a gyroscope.
And some poor little construct like rolls by you and also gets stuck in it too, and it's just like, ugh.
One of my constituents is now orbiting Rekmara.
So I'll point out that although this may be very comfortable for Rekmara, what it looks like to the rest of us who are strapped into the ship is that Rekmara is spinning wildly on an axis of his own. So he's sitting there spinning around like crazy while we're perfectly oriented to the ship. So he looks insane. We look fine.
I would also imagine him drinking something just to point out how he is master of his own gravity.
Yep.
It's like I got a cocktail.
I love it.
When in the face of death, be wacky.
Isn't that our motto?
I think our motto is no traps.
It might be.
No traps.
I think that's our vision statement.
Yes.
Once we actually start to begin descent into the actual atmosphere and things like that, I'll quit with the loop-de-loops.
Well,
The heat shields can only take so much.
Have we sort of figured out where we're landing and all that? Have we coordinated with folks, or are we just or is it like we jump in and Lasness immediately goes for the planet?
That's actually a good question. Are we going to stay in orbit and go in by shuttle like we did last time?
Una,
Yes, Lasness.
where do you think you would function best in this current amazing heraldic run that's going to be sung about forever?
I have no preference, but there may be some terrain which will be difficult for me to traverse below a certain altitude.
That's true. So maybe something suborbital might be the best option in case you need to come close or further away?
I suppose so.
Okay, guys, that's Unum's opinion. What do you guys think?
You know, most of those songs you're talking about are written about martyrs, right?
Yeah, I know.
Okay, just checking.
Hey, there's a good amount that don't die. And Unum deserves a chance to have an opinion, too.
I mean, I'd recommend checking in with. Before we kind of dive off, I would recommend checking in with the folks over on the Nautilid ship just to see if they have insight on this.
Is a very large ship, much, much larger than Unum, and the Manan is going to stay in orbit. They can send some people down along with your away team, if you like.
Yeah.
And Lee will come down, and Dr. Wu will come down.
Yeah, if they've got any intel that would sort of give us an idea from their scans that might give us an idea of what would be the best place to start our investigation, that would be good.
Their scans don't really tell them much because of the psionic field around the planet. You are the ones who have actually been boots on the ground, so you probably know more than they do.
Okay. So we need to just kind of sort out and what they're looking into. And ostensibly, the thing that they had up on the job board for the last several weeks is the thing about helping them with their following up on their scans. So
yes. So you're familiar with a particular area of the coastline. Yeah. And beyond that, you would have to try to conduct more scans, or some of you may have certain innate abilities that allow you to get a sense of where the water on the planet may be, where the source of the supernatural befoulment is coming from, or that sort of thing.
Okay. So I guess we should probably, do we want to go down? Do we want to
you can also do just a visual check and look for worm walkers or Psyworm gestalts crawling around. It's up to you.
That's fair. So what do you folks think? Do you think we should coordinate with them up here, or should we just land somewhere and talk?
I think a visual scan by shuttle and then radioing back to let the folks upstairs know what we found might be a good starting point.
Okay.
Yeah. If you do decide to do any scanning, whoever is making that roll, if you utilize Unum's assistance, you will have advantage.
I guess I'll do it then.
Okay.
And it's just a perception?
Or you could use survival if you have it. It's
My
both
perception's
wisdom,
better.
so.
Uh, 19 total.
Okay. It is not too difficult for you to spot some straggling worm walkers. So you could potentially follow them. You also see some patches of xenobloom, which you will probably want to avoid.
Well, still flying now, so.
Yeah. It does look like the walkers, there's not a whole lot of them because there aren't a whole lot of humanoids left on the planet, and the few that are have been probably infected for some time. But the ones that you spot do seem to be meandering, shambling, if you will, in a particular direction.
Okay, we're pretty good with our vector dynamics. We'll just continue that direction.
The wormwalkers are heading toward an elevated point, somewhat inland, known as Mount Okeron.
I'll radio that as a likely target point. Radio that back to the wider group, not just our own team comms, but
Okay.
other folks as well.
They all radio back that they have received your message.
Look for a good touchdown point for the shuttle somewhere toward that direction, but obviously not like right on top of things.
Yeah. There are a couple places you could land kind of in the foothills. There's also as you get closer to those areas, you can see kind of what looks like it might be some sort of bunker or base of operations, some kind of doorway, man-made, not a natural cave, in the side of the mountain.
Good to know. Is one of the
yeah.
landing places near there?
Mhm.
Am I able to
I'll read it.
detect anything with my detect good and evil? Sorry.
What remind me what exactly that lets you detect?
So detect good and evil for the duration. You know if there's an aberration, celestial, elemental, fey, fiend, or undead. Actually, you know what? It's not going to work. It was a good try though. It's only 30 feet. So within 30 feet of us.
Yeah, once you land, perhaps.
Okay.
Pinpoint the landing coordinates and send that back to the group as a whole as well, so that we can get a landing party from all the various ships. Anybody who's going to be sending people down to the surface can.
Okay.
We can group up here, I guess.
All right. So, a few minutes after you land, a couple of people will teleport down from their various ships. So Lee will teleport down, and an individual in an aqua suit teleports down from the Manon.
And you're just sort of seeing knowing who Lee chartered to get here, I just sort of the first thing I'm going to say is she gets home. It's like, they've got a teleporter.
Surprise. They did some people some favors.
Here.
Also,
I'm doing this.
they've
job
got a
now.
deck wizard.
Oh.
Who's the person from the Manon?
The person from the Manon is a sort of snarky, sharky individual you might recognize from when you rescued him from the lizard folks' prison. And he escorted you to the site of the Sahuagin warship crash. He has apparently defected.
That's amazing.
He's everywhere.
What was that guy's name?
His name is Mako.
Mako. It's been a while, Mako.
So it has.
Sort of shrugged.
I was like, we have something to say and he's just waiting.
Like, okay. So,
I've got a score to settle with these brainworms.
Fair.
That's very fair. I think quite a few of us do. Okay. So I'm just sort of looking around, sort of surveying. So we know that there's at least one being that's down, and I don't know if it's going to be down this way. We haven't been. How close is this to the other places we were before?
It's not super close. It's not like super far either. It would have been a ways if you had been traveling on foot, but you flew, so.
If we end up getting going underwater, which I'm presuming is probably going to be happening at some point, hopefully we were able to coordinate on this some, but there's at least one aboleth down there somewhere, so we're going to want to be careful of that. If you
Run directly at its head. Got it.
I don't think that's what he said.
I don't know if we'll even be able to identify its head, but that said, if you folks have any, we've been trying to search around for means of some protection from their abilities. We've only been able to scrap together a little bit because that stuff is as expensive as hell. So you can only end kind of rare. But if you folks, have any surprises up there that you might want to send down to help you out, now is the time.
Well, I can take care of myself. Might be able to help some other people. But most of us we just have the suits, which would hopefully offer us some protection from infestation, but
With them being undead, would your suits be enough?
depends how much damage we take.
Yeah, it's pretty much, just like before, it's going to be just a question of if the suits get breached.
And what else we end up running into.
Yeah.
And Dr. Wu kind of steps forward in her life suit and helmet. She's geared up. And she says, between Lasness and I, we should be able to give the rest of you a bit of a buff if there is a psychic assault.
Yeah, stick close to me and we'll probably survive a little more than maybe without.
Okay. And I just sort of give Lee just sort of that kind of look. Oh, hey, thank you for that. Thanks very much for doing the gift sub, Pope. Very much appreciated. Thank you. Yay. So I sort of will be looking over at Lee with that sort of like, that sort of slight grimace, sort of like, okay, you ready for this? All right. And just sort of looks around. Is there anything else we need to take care of before we head down? He just asks to everyone in general.
Good to go.
We're ready.
Okay.
Fritz punches the speaker button and the theme music starts pumping out of the large speakers on the aft of the shuttlecraft.
There we go.
Narita very dramatically takes out her dagger, slowly starts walking forward.
I've probably had something like this conversation before, but I'll just briefly think to Vantha. Okay, hopefully this won't happen, but if something takes me over, not to fire, right?
Yes, Mr. Hayden.
Okay. All right. There's nothing.
I would have Lasness do the ska dance down the ramp and towards everything, but she can't lift her legs high enough or fast enough to do that and still be at the head. So she's just going to do a series of completely off the beat dance movements as she tries to keep ahead of everyone.
Okay.
She's not a good dancer.
So, you make your way up the mountain to the aperture in the cliffside. A heavy door hangs twisted on its hinges, the frame buckled outward as if by some hulking beast. The gaping doorway yawns open in the mouth of the darkened tunnel, its floor sloping downward into a rectangular chamber littered with dirt and rock. Is anybody carrying a light source? I know most of you probably don't have dark vision. Well, some of you might. Some of you do.
Most of us do,
I
don't
think
we?
we all do, except for Cole.
Yeah.
I think
Well-
I actually do. I think that.
Oh, yeah.
Doesn't.
Cole's got Vantha now.
Yeah, Vantha.
Yeah, Vantha gives him
Vantha
dark
gives me
vision.
dark
I think
vision.
we're okay.
Oh, there you go.
Okay. So,
Don't need no stinking light source.
Unfortunately, our friends might need might need light, possibly.
Rekmara is just going to use his. I'm pretty sure the Aviara has one of these. Oh no. I forgot I turned away from the sun. Never mind.
nope.
Narita will use produce flame and just have like a little.
Okay. Your flame illuminates the room beyond the doorway, and you can see the upheaval where something has burrowed its way through the floor. Bits of rock and broken tile crunch beneath your boots. As you pick your way through the room, which is permeated with the pungent odor of earthworms in wet soil. To the right lie scattered crates and boxes, their contents long since looted and decayed, while a darkened corridor branches off to the left. The corridor is lit with the faint glow of bioluminescent fungi, but you can hear the echoes of water dripping down the walls. As you enter the passage, you can feel the path descending deeper into the bowels of Mount Ogeron. Yes? Questions?
Yeah, sort of empty cast-off crates, basically a bunch of junk, sort of off to the side.
Yeah.
Is that what we're looking at? I will look over them briefly, just to see if there's anything just to see if there's anything.
Nothing really worth salvaging. Yeah. Even the materials themselves are kind of not great.
Is there any sort of markings or anything that indicate where they came from?
Make a history check.
Righto. L'histoire. I got a 15.
Okay. You know that it's not really a language that you're familiar with. There is some kind of symbol on some of the crates and boxes that is kind of worn and faded, but it's not anything you recognize. It's not. It's probably before your time here with the garrison.
Okay. Take a picture.
Narita, this symbol, if you glance over the rubble and wreckage that Cole is examining, kind of gives you deja vu. It reminds you of something that you saw in a vision that you had when you were going through the sunken fortress when you went to negotiate with the Sahuagin.
Reminds me of something. So she glanced at it, kind of realizes it looks familiar, and she looks at it more carefully. Like, will she be able to kind of pull up what it is? Because I don't remember either.
You can make a history check as well.
All right, here we go. Here's time for the die to fail me. 13.
Not really. It looks familiar, but it's not something that you're like consciously aware of.
Okay.
It's something that you saw in a vision, not from your own experience.
Okay, so Something to do with the Swagan. Got it.
Not necessarily.
Oh, it was just from the vision.
Mm-hmm. You had the vision in the fortress when you went to negotiate with the Sawagan, but the vision was from some other time before the Sawagan arrived and took over, before the Likshay garrison and the lizard folk were there, likely.
Oh. So it's a long time ago then. Okay. Well, we'll just keep that in mind and kind of keep it.
Yes.
She'll keep it to herself.
All right. And there's no other doorways or exits from this main foyer aside from the passage to the left. You do notice that the floors are a little bit wet and slick. There's a lot of moisture.
Is this special moisture?
You don't know.
But we're not getting any
You can
like.
examine it
Yes.
if you want to do some investigation.
We do want to investigate.
I will say, Narita, that your sense of foul water is very strong.
Okay, great. She wants to investigate, but apparently not that much because it was a 5.
Okay. You're a little put off by just how close you are to the foul water.
Gross.
It has gotten stronger as you have come over the coast and towards the mountain. So you're probably heading in the right direction, whether you like it or not.
I have to admit, in my head, I'm imagining Rekmara holding the back of Lasness's chainmail as she is just marching towards the door until everyone's done looking around, and then he just lets go so that way she can take point.
So.
Well, yeah, because Rekmara's actually using the codex, and he's actually not walking. He's floating just a couple of inches above the ground. His robes might be fluttering in it, a little more sinister than one would anticipate. But,
Starting to worry again. Sort of lean over to someone. He's gliding. He never used to glide, did he?
Thank goodness we saved the universe. Now let's go destroy it.
Keeping our eye, number 1, on Lasness. Number 2, on Rekmara.
Okay. So, do you go into the tunnel?
Lasness is ready to go into the tunnel.
Right. You travel inward and downward. After about 45 feet, the passage opens up to a 50-foot circular chamber with open archways branching off in multiple directions. The archway at 3 o'clock leads to another dimly lit hallway, while the ones at 12, 1, 4, and 5 o'clock all open up into smaller chambers with no other egress. With little more than stone slabs cut into the surrounding rock, these dark, dank rooms look more like holding cells than sleeping quarters. 2 of them are empty, but the other 2 are sealed with faintly flickering force fields, and you can see thin figures inside the cells.
Are the figures alive? And if not, are they animated?
Do you approach to find out?
Oh, you bet.
Okay, Lasness, as you approach the cells, one of the figures lurches to its feet, fins flaring angrily as she beats against the force field with a webbed hand.
You said fins, right?
I did.
Huh. What is the expression on this finned person's face, if they have a face? Remember,
She does have a face. She is not happy. She kind of looks hungry. The other figure is also alive, but it seems to cower backwards against the far wall of the cell.
This doesn't seem right.
Can we tell what this?
You have a way of figuring out whether or not there's something, right or wrong or good or evil or dead or undead going on here.
The angry woman in priestess's robes, dirty, tattered, is a Sahuagin.
I can detect good and evil, and I'm fairly certain I'm within 30 feet of them now. I'd like to use it, please.
Okay. She's not undead yet.
Yeah, she's getting close. She's not.
She does not look like she is in her right mind.
I want to just double check something for a second, so I'm just going to hold my next decision really quick.
Does this priestess look like the priestesses who were worshipping the aboleth that was disguised as their shark-headed god?
Yes.
All right.
But why would she be locked up here? So maybe she wasn't worshiping the aboleth. Why is she mad now?
Maybe the brainworms got her.
But how come the other person is not this?
They're not fully brainwormed yet.
Oh.
Yeah.
She's also
You
starving.
do know that when it takes a while for after you become infected for the brains to the psi worms to fully take over your brain.
Okay. So maybe she's 100% brainwormed and that person is, I don't know, 10% brainwormed. But they also, why are they here? How'd they end up here?
They're also
So many
starving.
Yes.
Also, can you remind us, did we have a process for unworming someone? I forget.
I think we did.
Did we? I thought we just killed them.
I mean, that could have been the process. I don't know.
Didn't one of us get it? Did Narita get brainworms?
No, you didn't get brainworms. You had some other virus in your brain.
But there was something
you
else.
had a virus and you were kind of like super hyper focused.
But
yeah, there was something else when we came to Chiron, though. Somebody had it. Something.
So once it gets into your brain, you basically become undead. When it first burrows into your skin, Cole would know that some of the soldiers here attempted to ward off the infestation by removing the infected limb. You know that story about Eleander Fireborn losing his limb in a space shark attack? That is not true. He lost his leg on Chiron.
Yeah. Oh, he was infected then. All right. Interesting. Okay. Actually, does Dr. Wu have anything that allows her to scan for things without necessarily having to touch the individual? Or is that not our current tech level?
Sure.
Because just sort of looking at the two people in the cell, we sort of look back over at Wu and just sort of like, what do you think?
I'm not sure. She doesn't look like she's completely gone yet, but she seems unusually aggressive.
I mean, time was. What we ended up doing involved amputation. Pretty much. I don't know if that's going to be possible in either of these cases or not.
So, I can't remember if we talked about this or not, but I do have lesser restoration, and it can clear a disease or a condition. I don't know, does that mean it's only limited to blinded, deafened, paralyzed, or poisoned?
Yes.
Okay, got it. All right. That does not help with any of this. We get an E for effort.
So can you remind? I'm sorry. I'm just again brain details. The one that seems further. So there are two in the cell. Do either of them look like they might be undead at this point?
Neither of them look like they are undead yet.
Okay.
The woman, the Sahuagin priestess, looks like she's a little farther gone than the other one. Though it's hard to get a look at them because they have kind of pulled back into the darker corner against the far side of their... But you could certainly go up to the force field and try to get a better look at them. If you want.
That sounds perfectly safe.
Yeah.
Yes, come stay.
Not at all like a trap. Not at all like a trap.
Not at all. Not at all.
Lasness already walked up to the force field,
yeah.
You're perfectly safe.
You could, if you want to try to deal with this angry Sahuagin priestess, you could attempt to locate the worms and surgically remove them. It depends if you're able to get to them without, amputation or causing more damage to the host. She doesn't look like she will cooperate with you. You would perhaps have to render her unconscious. And it depends how much time you want to spend hanging out here.
Yeah, that's fair.
There are so many more wonders to see.
Yes. Cool. Are you going to try to get a better look at the other prisoner?
This is a terrible idea, sure.
Okay. You recognize this person. Lee, you can hear her kind of curse softly under her breath as she looks over your shoulder. Chaplain Jones.
Was that one of ours?
Mm-hmm. You can kind of see a faded Lexay Garrison chaplain's uniform.
Human?
Mm.
Holy crap. Jones? Jones, is that you?
Hayden.
Did Jones not make it off the first time?
No.
As far as we were aware? We didn't.
No.
No. Oh God. Oh God. Okay. How long ago would we have left Jones down here?
Oh, how long has it been since the garrison abandoned the colony?
That's been a number of years. I know that.
Yeah, it's been a number of years. And supposedly...
It's been like a better part of a decade, I think.
Chaplain,
It's been like
yeah.
10 years.
The chaplain, as far as you knew, didn't make it. And yet...
All right. How the hell are you still alive?
I don't know. I guess it's saving me for later.
What is?
The brain stealer.
Can you tell us what happened?
It's all kind of a blur. I was trying to rescue a bunch of the recruits who were cut off. I must have blacked out or something. The next thing I know, I wake up here.
About how long do you think it's been?
God. Too long.
Well, that's the truth. Just sort of looking at Lee. We've got to get him out of here.
Pardon me, Mr. Room, making the room full of regret. Were there any others?
There were.
Have you been alone that long?
For a long time. And then it started bringing in more prisoners. The worms get you, and some of them just march right into the mountain. into its mouth for all I know. The cells filled up not that long ago. Folk. Every so often it comes to pick out its next meal.
So Lastness can try to open the door if you guys want her to, but that's going to be the equivalent of taking her weapon and putting it to the nearby panel that I'm assuming is nearby the door. So we can go that route if you want.
There is a nearby control panel. The writing on it, again, is in that strange language that nobody quite recognizes.
Right. So I'm going to use my favorite firewall and just basically set it on fire in the wall.
I like the idea that we're just sort of sitting here and we're sort of looking at them, talking to them, and trying to decide if we want to let them out, and sort of figuring it out because well, they might be infected. We got to deal, and that Lastness is just over there.
All right. So you're just. So what are you doing, Lastness?
She tugs on Cole's jacket and says, "You want me to open the door?"
Well, hang on. Do we want so he Jones? I'm not so much worried about as Jones's cellmate, because it's Jones and a priestess, right?
Uh-huh.
I'm sure they had some very interesting theological discussions over the last several weeks.
I don't think she wants to talk anymore.
No, probably not. If we open this thing, are you going to be able to keep under control? Are you actually like it looks like you're infected? Are you actually? What do you think?
I don't know. If I was infected, I don't think I'd still be talking to you.
I mean, that's fair.
I think I would have.
I mean, even after this long, there's no way in hell that this doesn't spread like the normal infection.
No.
Whatever it is that's happened to you. Is it just this brain stealer? Is that what you called it? That's okay. Her too? You think?
I mean, she looks like she's got it.
No. If she does, then we do need to get you out of there either way. And I'm going to
No.
Yeah. Okay, just so I can make sure again, and I'm sorry I have to keep pausing and asking for details here, but I just want to make sure that I've got this in my head. How easy is it to tell if a person is infected with these things? Is it versus it being something else?
Like if they first got it, maybe not so much. Once it takes over their brain, they're undead, so you know for sure.
Okay, that's good. But I mean, is there a period of time when it's like, they start becoming more zombie-like?
There is.
Sort of like, yeah.
Yes.
And so both of them look like they'd qualify, but then again, this could also be something created by something that comes along and sucks out, some of their consciousness.
So, you asked, sort of had like gestured or asked Dr. Wu to scan.
Yeah.
She taps you on the shoulder.
Yes, Doc.
nerve scanner is malfunctioning.
Can I be of assistance at all with my detecting of good and evil? I am in 30 feet.
I think you tried that when you first came in.
Oh, right. That went swimmingly.
Let me look at. No, your detect good and evil wouldn't tell you if there's worms because they're technically monstrosities and not aberrations.
Scan for evil.
I can't get a read on them.
All right. And Cole is just going, just going to look at everyone. I would like to get to get Jones out at the very least. I don't think that
Cole,
he'd have survived this long.
If you are concerned, Cole, you could make a perception check or investigation, I suppose, if you want to try to get a read on the chaplain.
Well, it's like, part of it is just that he can't have survived this long if he had the brainworm infection. But at the same time, he could have gotten it recently, especially if there's someone else who has it in his cell.
True.
So
if they had been, well, they're in separate cells.
Oh, they are in separate cells. Okay,
yes.
That's good.
They are in separate cells.
Is there a separate panel for each cell? This is an important question.
Yes.
Okay.
There may also be like a master panel somewhere that controls all of them, but there is an individual lock next to each force field / door.
Okay. You want me to do investigation? Was that the...
Or perception. That's your choice.
I'd much rather investigation if at all possible.
Okay.
It's much easier for me.
Sure.
But probably not so much right now. I got a 9.
No. Hard to say. It's been a while since you've talked to Chaplain Remiel Jones.
Yes. All right.
And the Sahuagin priestess you don't know from Eve, so.
Well, yeah. No point. I'm thinking, yeah. All right. So I'm going to just basically, I'm going to glance around briefly at the rest of the group to see if they seem to have any objections with us approaching the panel.
Rekmaraz is just going to ear in and examine them as best he can.
Okay.
So either using medicine or perception.
Up to you.
You will use medicine then.
Okay. Are you examining them from outside the force field at this point?
Yes.
Okay.
So, what does a 29 tell me?
Oh.
Jesus Christ.
Oh. Well, a 29 tells you that there is a very good illusion over a writhing mass of worms in Chaplain Jones's cell.
Really?
Yes.
How does Cole's friend look?
That
is Cole's friend.
Like a pile of worms.
Oh wait, the chaplain is Cole's friend?
The chaplain is Cole's friend.
Oh.
As opposed to the Sahuagin priestess.
Okay.
Who's just there.
Just there hanging out.
How are you not affected? He points at the Sahuagin.
She just hisses and claws at the force field some more.
Oh. Hang on. Let's pause while I figure out what's the most dramatic way to reveal this information.
I want you all to know that Lasness is getting ready. She's like,
Fine. I was thinking, I was trying to find a lower level spell that would do it, but sadly, no. And Rekmarah is just going to wave his sun staff and cast Dispel Magic. The poor dude. The chaplain.
Okay.
I really hope the law of unintended consequences doesn't kick in here. Hint, hint.
Yeah. One presumes that you can target just the chaplain and not the cell itself, but that's
I really
a
hope
presumption
you can
on
target
my
just
part.
the illusion and not anything else that happens to be going on in the immediate vicinity.
Dispel magic.
You can
Choose
target
one
it, can't you?
creature, object, or magical effect within range. Any spell of 3rd level or lower on the target ends. For each spell of 4th level or higher on the target, make an ability check using your spell casting ability. The DC equals 10 plus the spell's level.
All right. What am I rolling against?
Let me look that up real quick here. You need to roll a 16 or above.
Phew.
Oh, 18.
Okay.
yay.
All right. So
Show me your true
as
form.
Rekmarah's magic hits the creature inside the cell, the illusion sort of flickers, and those of you who are conversing with Chaplain Jones may realize that something is not right.
I'm just going to slowly, and I'm imagining just sort of as Lasness is preparing, sort of hefting the hammer, I just sort of reach a hand out and just sort of touch her on the arm, just be like, wait.
Something is not right. It's almost like his skin crawls, which kind of makes your skin crawl.
Yeah. Narita like walks up behind Lasness and just like grabs the hammer and pulls it back. Just like, if you do, I will throw you in there first.
She might be okay with that.
You're going in first no matter what. I know that. But I will throw you.
Oh, that's very good. Oh, that's very good.
Rekmarah just stands back and he just scratches his beak a little bit. Says, "Oh, very clever of them to use your human empathy to try to trap you."
Wait, a religious man
Yeah.
lied?
That is how they get you.
Just gentle pats on Lasness's head. No, dear.
I'm not religious or a man. I just like his face.
Where did you get that face?
From somebody I used to know.
I'm so sorry.
You've been here. How long have you been here?
Longer than you've been alive.
What are you?
That's an excellent question. I am what they made me. Come find me and see for yourself.
Out of curiosity, if I were to hurt this vessel, would you feel it?
Not really, no.
I shall save my spell then.
Are you addressing the shark god? Or is this someone else?
Someone else.
Care to share who they are?
Come find me. See for yourself.
Do you like rosemary?
No. But
Never
I do
mother.
like you for your brains.
Not the apple. Got it. Thanks.
That was a random thread on. Never mind. Are you working for them or are they working for you?
I work for myself.
What do you want with this planet?
I don't care about the planet. I am what they made me ages ago. But their ambitions outstripped their powers. And they could not control me. So I killed them. And I took their knowledge. And I have survived on this planet.
How have you survived here?
On the minds of those foolish enough to think that they can claim its resources for themselves.
How do you feel about sharing?
I don't share.
Not at all? Like a little bit? Can we do a trade? What can we offer you?
If you want what is mine, come and take it from me.
You just said that doesn't go well, so pass.
Were you the one that we walked in on a few months back?
Oh no.
No.
No?
Thank you for eliminating the competition.
Of course.
Oh, we did a bad thing. We did a bad.
So, they were trying to open a gate of sorts. Not a very good idea here.
I don't care.
What is it about the things here that you want to keep?
What things?
I don't know, the resources. Like, is there something special about the resources?
This is boring.
You know, I agree. We're gonna come find you. And we're gonna have a nice conversation.
And that is where we are going to wrap up our episode.
Rekmara just mutters, "Oh, they're worried about me."
This person is who Rekmara will become if he has let love into his heart.
This is like, if this is the thing that is at least in part responsible, it looks like, for the utter destruction of the unit that he was working with, then this is, yeah, he
That is correct.
He wants a piece of it. So that's Cole's not exactly thinking thinking strategically right now. He's thinking more in terms of
his emotions. Yeah, it's like this thing's like, everyone has come and died because I killed them, and Cole's like, we're coming, and it's like, oh great, Cole, thanks. Sounds good.
Yeah, exactly.
Very reasonable.
You know, this means Lasness is going to be the cool head in the group now. So,
Oh,
not
God.
Lasness. Narita. Lasness is never the cool head.
Yeah,
I was like, oh no, things are rough.
I'm probably slightly less worried now.
Except for that one time when you found the Ralph on the shipwreck.
Yeah, that's true.
That's true.
That's true.
Huh. Wait a minute. You know, there's a chance we may end up actually trying the crazy thing we were thinking about trying, but we'll have to leave that plan just sort of as this sort of a plan C or D, but that's
You mean the pile of rosemary?
That's plan R for Rosemary.
yeah, just the idea that there's, because I think at this point, at least as far as, my character is concerned, he's pissed off enough now that he'd just go ahead, yeah, sure, let's just unfreeze the Roth and just send him down there and see what happens.
What happens is it dies.
Yeah, we don't want that. We don't want that. It's just, what happens when things try to feed on each other? No, this thing is probably too dangerous for the Roth, actually, which is strange to say. But
if you decide you want some Rothian backup,
I mean, that wouldn't be bad, given all of this.
If we're gonna die, let's just die in like the biggest blowout possible. Unfreeze them. Like just go for it.
My God. We've been, Wu's had enough time has had time with the Roth since we've on the ship since we came back, so maybe they've got more ideas now. We'll see.
maybe.
There's a lot of side stuff we have yet to really go into, and I still need to talk to Wu about getting if there are any ideas for getting Vantha out of this gun, but that will have to wait for.
I have some answers to that question, yes, but you'll have to ask them.
So many things. Oh my God. Okay. Well, I am so glad that we have finally taken the plunge now and are into this. This is going to be great. So we're going to go around and do our outros. Feel free to plug anything you like. Tell folks where they can find you. Feel free to if you have any final thoughts on the episode or favorite moments or what have you, feel free to give us those. And we shall start once again with our station master, Alyssa.
Thank you so much for coming back to Chiron. I am so looking forward to when you meet the monster at the end of this book. Way back, about a year or so ago, a little over a year ago, when I first decided to set the stranded lizard folk on Chiron, where the brainworms are, and I tried to figure out why the brainworms are, and I decided what caused the brainworm infestation. This creature has been waiting all this time. And I'm so happy that you were finally, maybe, strong enough to deal with it. And I'm so excited for you to find out what it is. Favorite moment, possibly Cole's last line. But yeah, and just leaning into this villain who is pretending to be your old friend, Chaplain Remy Jones.
It's bad enough that they seem to be responsible for everything, but to rub it in like that's it's masterstroke. Did you have any other things you wanted to?
You can find me on Twitch occasionally and on Twitter at Origami Shuriken. But for the moment, this is the only game I have going on officially. So yeah, hopefully over the next several Sundays, we will find out what the fuck is going on Chiron.
At last. We shall spell it out with our bleached bones for the next adventurers that come down here.
Don't dead, open inside.
Yeah. Awesome. Yes, I'm sorry. Did you have anything else? Or I'm sorry, interrupting today. Because
I've got so much more, but it will wait until next week.
All right. Okay, let's go over to Mem.
Hello, Mem. Favorite moment: dramatically walking off the ship. Also, probably Rekmarad trying to be flashy and then not being flashy and just showing us what's going on. You can mostly just find me here, but I do have something next Saturday. I have to look at her name because I can't say it. Praxagorth Asmophoria is doing a charity stream on the 27th. And I will be in the last game of the stream at 6 p.m. Eastern time, 4 p.m. Mountain time. I was like, what time is that? And so feel free to come by, give money to a good cause. It's World Central Kitchen. So helping to feed those who need the food.
Cool, awesome. And I also just encourage folks to check out Prax's stuff just in general, because always friend of the channel, always does awesome stuff. And I've read Shakespeare over there before and played in GMs. Excellent GM.
It's her game too, so that's pretty cool.
Oh, excellent. Oh. Cool. Awesome. Definitely. Very cool. All right. And over to May.
Hi everyone, I'm May. I mostly exist here. I do have a Twitter, but like I said, I mostly exist here. I had a lot of fun tonight. My favorite part was just watching Cole and Brainworm Chaplain Man do their back and forth. It was very good, and I think that was my absolute favorite of the night.
Awesome. Did you have anything else you wanted to plug or anything like that? Cool.
Nope.
And over to Cazimi.
I'm Cazimi. When there's a game here, I'm here. That's all that is. Nothing else to plug with that. And favorite moment was brainworms, because that's what this week was brainworms. Every time we turned around, something was brainworms. The answer to everything tonight was brainworms, just to make sure you got to understand what this game is about. Right now, it's brainworms, just so you didn't miss the point of the game. Brainworms, just for you, ma'am.
I just really love that everyone thought that we'll never go back. It's like, ha. We did.
Brainworm.
Stop ourselves. It's impossible. But just be perfectly. Yeah.
It's like when you all said no brainworms. Alyssa's like, brainworms.
No more brainworms. It is indeed brainworms all the way down. All right, and finally, Anino.
Everyone, my name is Anino. You can find me on Twitter at Anino Gaming. I don't think I have anything going on this week until Friday, when hopefully we'll be back to Cyberpunk Red, and that's at 8:30 and on Simon's channel, and then on Saturday at 1 p.m. is the next episode and installment of Scion, which is also fun, also on Simon's channel. And then back here for more of the final run through this crazy planet.
Yeah.
And my favorite part was Lasness blabbing, even though we all agreed that we were not going to blab about the Pirate King that we killed 2 episodes ago.
Yep. I was just sort of sitting there. I was like, it's like first thing out of her mouth. I'm like, oh.
You can blame brainworms.
Yeah.
She doesn't handle her alcohol well.
This is fair. No, and that actually loops back into what I think was my favorite moment tonight, which was basically from that conversation. Your secrets are safe with me. Your secrets are not safe with her.
Not at all safe.
Although it does run neck and neck from that just brief, let's pause while I figure out the most dramatic way to reveal this. That was awesome. Glorious. I am so happy that we're getting through into a final arc here. It's very exciting. Just looking very much forward to next time. So once again, we shall bow our heads in thanks to Jade Nebula for providing the character art. And once again, I'm Jim Ryan. You can find me at OtherDoc on both Twitch and Twitter. My website is jim.com, where you can find my Geek Observation podcast and links to my various other podcasts, audio dramas, writings, and such. There are links down below to my various media. Here on this channel on Tuesday nights, I am running a short campaign of Urban Shadows set in present-day Rome, Italy. It is right now, we are about roughly halfway through. We weren't able to actually play the last couple of weeks for real-life reasons, but hopefully we'll be getting back to it shortly. It's been a lot of fun and interesting, sort of combining the usual urban fantasy tropes with Roman gods. So it'll be interesting to sort of see where things are going there. On Saturdays, I am over on Weave the Tale. I'm in a campaign that they're doing of Fate of Cthulhu, The Return of Carcosa. It is being run by Trooper, who appears in this show occasionally as Oceanus. And who has also appeared in a spin-off that Alyssa has run as Oceanus. So feel free to go and check that out on Saturday evenings if you like. If you like time travel and Cthulhu. And we're trying to stop the King in Yellow. And last session, there were 3 of me that I had to hop back and forth between. And it was
not just that. There was also this amazing ad that they stumbled across, which legit had Jim's character full dress doing magical wiggly fingers for a show. And I nearly sprayed my drink all over my monitor when I saw that pop up.
Yes, I just suddenly I may post that somewhere if I have the courage to, but I got the jacket in and I was like, okay, I'm gonna try to do a photo shoot. Oh crap, we have been berated.
Oh no!
Berated. Hello, hey, greetings. This is awesome. I was actually just about to raid you. You're being rated by Bebop Tabletop. I was saying, new channel, we need to check that out. Hi, welcome. Unfortunately, we're actually about to wrap up. I'm gonna. We're getting ready to head out in a sec. But thank you so much for leaping in. We've been playing Dark Matter, very fantasy stuff in space, and we are entering our final arc where we are about to. For the third time, we have come to this planet that is an ocean planet and has brainworms on it that appear to be being controlled by central intelligence, and we have to deal with it, and it's going to be very painful because history, because character history. Yes, so that will be that is once again happens on this channel on Sunday afternoons when we're all available. So very much looking forward to coming back to that. Also, I will say that there is a Tabletop Garden, the Tabletop Garden podcast that I've appeared on as a cast member, has just started a new series that it's releasing that we recorded a little while back that I am also in. It is The Great Molasses Flood. And so I am playing a fireman from the year 1919 in Boston. And it centers around the actual event that happened in Boston that year when this big tank of molasses exploded. We're doing, it's very, very sort of character intensive thing that we're doing over there. It's very cool, and I urge folks to check it out if they want to do that. You can find that at tabletop.garden. And finally, we do have signups still running through Friday, March 26th, for a short campaign of Scum and Villainy that's going to be happening on, I believe, Wednesday nights. Brian is going to be coming back to run it. He ran our game of The Sprawl last year. So he's going to be coming in to run that. That is a Forged in the Dark game about basically people trying to get by in space under a galactic hegemony. So if there's any interest in that, you can actually go down below and click on RPG sign up, or go to jimyesthatjim.com and click on game sign up. As always, beginners are welcome. Well, when we hit the end card, I'm going to send a raid over. We just were raided by the channel I was going to raid, so we are going to now send a raid over to probably, somebody. I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out when I jump off that. We'll jump off that bridge when we come to it. I suspect. Let's see. A few people are doing stuff right now. We've got Cobalt Press. We have Sky McIver. We have. We have Level Up Tabletop. We'll check that out, but that'll happen when we hit the end card. But in the meantime, folks, thank you all very much for watching. Take care, and we will catch you next time. Farewell.